Is that
Yeah.
going down?
Yeah. It's going down.
Why is it going down? Should be going
That
up.
sounds, because that's going to confuse me.
Sorry, people.
Because if you do 5 seconds, what do I look at? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that one's going 10, 9:59.
And then when it gets to 0, it's going to go beep, beep, beep. And I'm
Guys, welcome back to the final third. Just a quick thank you to everyone who has joined the fantasy football team. But first off, we're going to talk about England. How do you guys think they've played so far?
You starting?
Me first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, they've qualified, which is a first. They've qualified, which is a first, which is new to a lot of us. Qualifying with an easier group than most expect, but yeah, they've played all right. They've beaten what's in front of them, except from Belgium, to be fair. But yeah, what can I say about England? Their style of play, it's not as expressive as we all think it is. If you analyse it properly, more time it's the centre backs. Either when Maguire steps up with the ball, steps out of the back free, and he looks a bit. When he breaks through the lines and he steps out of the back free, he moves forward with the ball. Then he gets to a point where he doesn't really know what to do. Aside that, what else have they done? Sometimes they pass to Henderson. Yeah, they pass to Henderson. They give it to him on the pivot. He hooks a long ball round, and they just get the ball to Trippier, and he whips it in. It's quite one-dimensional, but they're not experienced in playing a lot of good football. So I guess I don't understand why a lot of England fans think that they're playing very well. But yeah, they've been what's in front of them.
Given the teams that they've had.
Given the teams that they had. Yeah, what do you think, CJ?
I agree with you. I feel like if you listen to the hype, you'll be very misled, innit? But if you're like literally looking at it at face value and what is, they've been alright. They've beaten what's in front of them, innit? You would expect them to beat Panama unless you're you'd expect them to beat Panama. You'd expect them to beat Tunisia. That was a struggle.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they're too one-dimensional. You know how they're gonna play. Maguire will step out.
The difference is between this one dimension. One, at least they know what they're doing and they have a plan compared to other tournaments. And two, this dimension is working. It seems to be working. Like now, they look forward to set pieces, which is so disgusting.
But you know what England are gonna do. They're gonna get the ball out to Henderson. He's gonna get over to Trippier. It's going in the box. Or they're looking for the third man run with Lingard.
My problem with this is why it makes it so difficult for people who are not English to support England is because like the commentators and the punditry bring it upon themselves.
So jarring.
Like who was it? I think was it Martin Kieran or someone said like England have played the best football in the tournament so far.
After
even
20 minutes,
when they're not playing.
After 20 minutes of that match,
England, and everything has every time there's an England special. Fair enough, we're in England, but every second there's an England special.
They're always going to the camp to talk to them.
There's 23 players. How many people are you gonna talk to? Like
everyone, but anyway, Sterling, he's underperformed. I would say. Yeah. Kane's underperformed.
You think?
100%. Kane's done nothing on that.
He scored 5 goals.
But he scored. But how he scored 5 goals just shows that he's a good player. Like he's a very good player, and he's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
But that's the striker.
3 penalties. Is it 3 penalties?
2 penalties.
2 penalties. One goal that hit his ankle.
The bummiest hat trick of all time.
And then 2 corners, like tap-ins from like the 6-yard box. So.
But you gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah.
He was in the right place at the right time. The striker's instincts. You know what I mean? But.
So do you think he's going for the golden boot then?
Do you think he's gonna get it, or
he's going for it?
100%. He goes for those individual.
Did you hear what he's? I don't like. This is my problem with Harry Kane, innit? Before England even kicked a ball, he said that Ronaldo put him under pressure after he scored a hat trick. What kind of mentality is that? People say, yeah, he's a striker, blah 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 blah. But you're in a team competition and you haven't even played a group match yet, and you're thinking about the golden boot. It's like what he done in Tottenham, serving on his daughter's life.
Yeah, just for a goal.
Desperate, and he's just
desperate.
Yeah. He looks desperate.
It's proper bummy.
Harry Kane has selective killer instinct because like when it comes to individual accolades, he has killer instinct. But when it comes to like I think like he's not as upset that Tottenham didn't win nothing. He's more upset that he didn't get that golden boot.
Yeah, he's not upset about Tottenham.
And yeah.
Did he not sign a new contract as well, Tottenham?
He did, but he
6-year contract.
Yeah, he got bumped.
He's just trying to be Alan Shearer, innit? Just let him be Alan Shearer.
If that's who his idol is, that's who his idol is.
Probably is. He's English, isn't it?
That's who he looks up to. But yeah, credit to them. But what I don't like about England as well, and why I just don't ever want them to win a tournament, is because you have generally because the mentality has to change.
Yeah.
You can't say stuff like football's coming home, football started here, and like talk like a big footballing nation, which you actually are, but then be planning routes to avoid big teams.
Big teams, yeah.
The big teams, the Brazils, the France, the Germany before they went, they are not planning, let's come first, let's drop second. When we were watching the Belgium match, when England played Belgium, they were like, the commentator said, right now it's 0-0, but Belgium are 5-2 up on yellow cards, so it seems like we're going to come second and we'll play Colombia, but we would meet Sweden and Switzerland in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
England's the only nation in the World Cup that will do that, innit?
They're
literally the only nation that will be like, wow, we're on this side, let's be runners up.
And to avoid looking at it like, oh, we're trying to be bummy. There was a time where, Roberto Martinez is also resting 10 players. The difference between them and Roberto Martinez is, I believe Roberto Martinez knew he could rest 10 players and still win and beat England. And he did.
Yeah, comfortably.
But both teams played their second team. But we have to give credit. We can't just slander him. We have to give credit where it's due. They've beaten what's in front of them. And you can only get excited because you've never been in this situation before. So
who do you think England's best players have been so far?
Trippier, the Burnley bro. The Burnley boy. Trippier. Who else? Who do you think, Julie? Because I can't. Yeah, it's just genuinely just say in the group chat. Genuinely just Trippier. Would you say Ling? No.
You have to put Kane there. He
by default because of the hat trick.
Because
of the hat trick. The centre backs?
Really.
No, not Maguire.
Maguire's been
out of the three.
decent.
Maguire's
been decent.
Stone's
been decent.
Alright. What do you think about Pickford?
Pickford, man. He ain't been tested though.
He hasn't been tested.
This is what I mean. Like, I don't feel like you can say much about England because I haven't seen enough.
The one time they got tested when they both played their second tier teams. Rashford missed a sitter, but on the first game he was electric. Same with Loftus-Cheek, who's had a stinker.
Rashford, I feel like Rashford's going to be the guy where you want to start him because he comes off the bench and he performs.
Yeah.
He starts and then he bottles.
Like when Dzeko used to do that for Man City.
Yeah.
Time ago.
Obviously, I'm not saying further in his career, but at this moment in time, I wouldn't start him. Do you know what I mean? Because Kane would have bagged that goal.
100%.
He would have gobbled that. His eyes would have lit up.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? But
free food.
I don't think there's much to really say about England because of their
until it gets to crunch time. And what we can say is England's play Colombia now. This is what they wanted. They wanted to come second and play Colombia. I don't know what the outcome of that match is, but I think Colombia will beat them.
It depends.
Colombia have been bummy this tournament, but they topped the group. How?
It depends. I think it depends on James. He came off injured against Japan.
He came off injured against Senegal.
No, not Japan. Senegal.
Okay.
So if he plays, then we can get Colombia that played against Poland. Fluid Colombia. Or you can get the Colombia against Senegal where they just scrape by. But I think it all depends on that really. So integral to their team.